Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Want to talk about this mega blockbuster trade in the WNBA. It was noted that Annie Costabile, who seems to be the Shams of the WNBA, got the inside scoop a couple of days ago. This is what's holding up free agency. 3-team trade between the Seattle Storm, Los Angeles Sparks, and the Las Vegas Aces. This was big time. There's certain players who have been given qualifying offers, most notably Alyssa Thomas, but this is the major move that was being waited on. I think the expansion draft had a lot to do with the discourse in the lawsuit that Joel Lloyd right now has pending against Seattle, claiming of bullying tactics in the locker room. It's also interesting because there's a top pick in Skylar Diggins, and there's a top pick in Olivia Miles, who's been a triple-double sensation on the national collegiate level in women's sports, who's a Notre Dame alum. As you all know, Skylar Diggins and Joel Lloyd are both Notre Dame alums. I don't know, if, something happened there with that. Just note it. With that being said, when you look at the Las Vegas Aces, they do have some things to clear up. Kelsey Plum looked like she was fed. Well, let's continue with Seattle first. They got the second pick, so they might go, Olivia Miles and prep for the future. And, Skylar being there, who's been out of basketball for a couple of years, is going to be more in a mentorship role. She's noted several times that she wants to be a mentor. And so that's kind of like what's going on right now. Then you also have, the possibility they go maybe Kiki Arafin and try to build. I think it would have been nice to have Gabby Williams, Kiki Arafin as a unit. I think Gabby's also made it clear she's leaving Seattle. I don't know what's the story with Nneka, but they did keep their coach. She's one of the rare, I think the only female left, and one of two that's left. Interesting that, the teams involved have, I think, the last two female coaches in the W right now. With that being said, Seattle is just doing the best they can right now to clean up a messy locker room. Similar transitioning into to the Las Vegas Aces. They had a situation. Ironically, Kelsey's joining Derica in Las Vegas. I think, there was a couple situations last year, one most notably where Becky Hammond led into her to the point where there was no return. I think everyone knew that she was gone. She was given a qualifying offer according to the previous GM. She did not sign it. 3 other players did for the Aces, most notably Asia Wilson. And so that was kind of the first sign that this was going to be the way this was going to be. And then you got a situation with Derica, who's already suing them because, alleging some type of maternity leave issue. So that was a big time problem also. Now, there was an interesting graphic where on Sham's site, on his Twitter X page, where, Derica quote tweeted with her arm around Kelsey, like, come here, let's regroup you. Long story short, I think Kelsey's capacity, this is healthy for her. For one, she had a divorce when she was in Las Vegas, had a rough season. They probably didn't give her enough empathy. She was averaging 17, but there was legit games where she was costing the Aces. And to her credit, in all fairness, I completely get it. You're going through a serious public divorce. That's very difficult. The Aces have been known to, wiggle a few screws if they have to make things happen. So, she wanted out. Also, I remember there was a clip where, Asia Wilson was talking about privilege. Don't want to get too much into it, but you can find it in, saying Caitlyn embraces hers or Paige. And, maybe I guess Kelsey doesn't, as if she's not the, second all-time scorer. I understand where Asia was coming from because her Nike deal frustrates her. Still no signature shoe out like that, barely getting a rollout, but that's kind of what it is. So that's the place she's speaking of, not necessarily, mad at Kelsey, but I'm sure Kelsey might have taken it personal. It's just been long overdue. When you've won championships together and you've won multiple, you get really tired of each other. You're doing a lot of appearances. It was just time for a change of scenery. LA's really good for her because they need a lead guard. And I guess that transitions into the next point. They got two big time future studs, possibly Hall of Famers, and Cameron Biggs, who was supposed to play on the Olympic team, and Rakia Jackson, very well-rounded scorer, very polished. She's a hooper, not just for a woman, but just in general, has a very polished game. And so, they needed a lead guard more than they needed another rookie, I guess. They didn't want to hold them back even more. They've already kind of delayed. Rakia's season was delayed. Then you had, Cameron, who's missed a big chunk of last year. Hannah Hidalgo last year missed a big part of last year due to some lower extremity lower extremity issues. And so, you don't know with with Olivia, you don't know if Olivia is, a 20-year-old with a 35-year-old body. But with Kelsey, it's like we knew she had an off year for her standard. This is, but, now this is officially her team. She's the vet, her tenacity. She's the type of player you can build a franchise around, still relatively young. So they're like, you know what? This is who, this is the more safe bet for them. They don't want to mess this up, especially when you're on a certain time window and you can't afford to mess this pick up. So congrats to them on that. They moved off Lee Uru also, who I thought was going to be put in the expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries. She didn't. I think this, I'm not surprised. Everyone could see the writing on the wall if you really paid attention. She has a very main character mindset on the court, not a blend type. She wants to be the primary focus. They surrounding. There was times where the spacing was clogged because Lee was trying to get hers already in a crowded backcourt, trying to establish her presence, make it be known. She wants it. The moment's not too big for her, and it kind of messed up spacing. A lot of times you could see people coaching her like, hey, you were supposed to go over there, this and that, but she wants the ball. But I definitely know per 36, Lee Uru can put up some very nice, at least on face value numbers. So, congrats for her to getting a new opportunity. All in all, I think everyone won. Everyone got what they needed. This is going to clean up a lot of locker rooms. This is going to create new careers, deaths and rebirths, so to speak. This was awesome. Jewel Lloyd, more of a natural two guard. Kelsey wants to be a primary ball handler next to Chelsea Gray, who's the lead distributor. Kind of that, ultimately Chelsea was gonna, that was her team, and she's such a highlight reel. It was like Kelsey's just, reduced to just being an off-ball scorer. So, this opportunity of her moving to the Aces, her moving to the Sparks and now being able to be the Chelsea Gray, that's going to be so much for her. This is everything she's going to ever want. All you can ask in life is to be put in a position to win, and then it's up to you. And I think the moment is not too big for her. She also just got her jersey retired at Washington. So, that's big. It's been a great offseason. She did avoid the Unrivaled League to regroup herself, so it makes it very clear. And Jewel she's the sixth highest scorer in the league. I think this is more of a natural spot for her. Everyone has a defined role. They just got a little bit more bigger, even though height doesn't matter when you talk about Kelsey, because she's so damn scrappy that it doesn't matter. But ultimately, Joel Lloyd going to in a situation now, cleaning up scenery, it is going to be just as, it's going to be just as intent though. And I hope she understands that. If you thought Seattle was crazy, Las Vegas is on a whole nother level. And so that's going to be my biggest concern. They still have the 13th pick, as I stated to start the video. They need to make sure right away that they get something, a piece, a body that they can throw at Jonquel Jones. But all in all, I think everyone won. No one got fleeced, really. The most risk is probably in Vegas. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it fits their veteran roster and the mindset. Don't really have to tell her too much. We'll see how this plays out. Great for all parties. Awesome trade. We love this type of stuff, man, because it just, gives you something to talk about and let the games begin, because now it's all downhill from here. Dominoes start falling because now we know this piece was, as I stated, Annie Costabel said, this was the one trade that was holding up everything. All right, Utopians, I hope this was a little more informative. I'll try to do better next time. Global, out.